Hello, and welcome to Sex in the News. We are the Siegel Brothers. Tonight's stories we have for you will start with an American Bar Association resolution that opposes the criminalization of abortion or miscarriage. We'll then talk about how lawmakers in Virginia are approving a ban on the gay panic defense. Okay. One of our favorite stories in a long time. Male peacocks make fake sex noises to seem more attractive than they are. And then finally, we'll talk about how sexual harassment claims are considered more credible if they are made by, quote, prototypical women.
So, this evening we've got a little comedy, a little disappointment, a little hope, some good news, some bad news.
Right? So let's start with, this is kind of good news about bad news.
This is good news. As the headline was read, the American Bar Association resolution opposes the criminalization. This was a little enlightening for both of us reading this news, right? Yeah. It's just horrifying that in the 21st century, there are still 5 states in this country, I'll call them out, Arizona, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Delaware, and Nevada, that have specific laws that criminalize self-managed abortion, which some of these... in addition, as of 2020, 38 states, I won't list those, have what are called feticide laws, death of a fetus, that equate pregnancy termination with murder, and these often include miscarriage.
Right.
This is stunning.
It's insane. It's stunningly insane.
That a woman can be held guilty of a crime if she has a miscarriage.
Right. And in some of those states as well, that if it's legal for a woman to go to a doctor's office or a clinic to have a procedure, right, to have an abortion, but if she stays home and takes Mifeprex or what we call medical abortion, if she takes this on her own, she can be arrested and charged with murder.
Disgusting.
It really is. So fortunately, as more and more states are trying to do that kind of stuff, the American Bar Association is now making an official position saying absolutely not.
No.
Right? Now, it would be very interesting to see how they manage lawyers, including district attorneys, who do try to prosecute those cases. If this is a violation of the American Bar Association's policies and procedures now, could there be consequences for a DA who is going to pursue these feticide cases? It'd be interesting to see what happens with that.
And we'll see what advocates the Bar Association will be when these and other cases start to make their way up to the new Supreme Court.
Yeah.
That the orange orangutan in charge left us with. It's just the beginning for those cases, folks.
Right. And as we've talked about before, there's a number of states, I think there are, 15 states now, that are just poised, waiting
champing at the bit.
Roe versus Wade to be overturned so that they will pass incredibly draconian laws restricting what women can do with their bodies. Right? So again, here we are, 2021. We should be moving forward. Right? Instead, we seem to be hightailing it in the opposite direction.
This one is good news, our next story. It would be funny if it wasn't so freaking tragic so
Unfortunately,
often.
Right. So again, good news about bad news.
Right.
So this idea of legislators in Virginia are now going to be approving a ban on using that gay panic defense.
If anyone doesn't know what that means, in a lot of places, it is completely legal to kill someone if they hit on you and made you so uncomfortable and threatened that you flew into a gay panic.
Right.
That you can either have a sentence, a murder charge reduced to manslaughter, or even completely dismissed.
Right.
This is
Right.
steaming
And again,
pile of bullshit.
just to read this little piece on there too, the Senate amendment adds oral solicitation or hitting on someone as an unacceptable justification for using this gay or transgender panic defense. How many people, going back to Matthew Shepard,
Right.
have been murdered simply because they may have gone up to somebody of the same sex, usually guys, and basically said, "Hi, you're cute." And that's justification to kill them?
Well, I'm glad you brought up Matthew Shepard because we cannot forget about him. One of the first, certainly not the first, but one of the first in the more modern era of blatant hate crimes. These guys went into a gay bar in Wyoming, where I can't imagine there's any gay enclave or a Christopher Street or Castro District or Fire Island
But there is a gay bar.
Right. But these guys went into a gay bar, presumably, to pick someone up to then drag them out and beat them up because they were gay bashing.
Right.
Which
Right.
we should do a whole show on the psychology of why someone would be driven to do that. Right. And that was one of his killers. Attorney tried to use that defense. Now, why someone... They said that Matthew's advances triggered his memories of child sexual abuse, and that the crime was actually motivated by robbery. Yeah, that's why homophobes go into gay bars, posing as gay men, to pick up another gay man and drag him out.
Because they just want wallets.
And leave him to die on a fence in the middle of a cold night.
Right. And how many people have used that gay panic defense after having sexual interactions with other guys, and then afterwards, I guess their guilt, their remorse, their question, what am I doing? I can't accept this with myself, and then they kill this person that they were just sexual with. Right? So, way to go, Virginia.
Yes.
I would say it is about time, and any other state that still has some kind of gay panic defense.
Well, there's a list again. I mean, not a list, but a disturbing number. Currently, there are 39 states that allow this panic defense to be used in cases where hate crime resulted in the assault or murder of an LGBTQ individual.
Right. Uncle Joe, here's a good executive order for you.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm so happy to have Uncle Joe in the White House.
So
and Kamala.
As
the VP.
So again, it's good news about bad news, right? Hopefully there's one more state getting rid of that absolutely horrendously ridiculous
bullshitty
idea of gay panic as a defense for gender-based violence.
And here's a story that will just piss you off, hopefully, if you're a human being with a conscience.
Right.
Sexual harassment claims are considered more credible if they're made by a prototypical woman.
Right.
And what this steaming pile of horse hockey is saying is that women who are young, quote, conventionally attractive and appear and act feminine are more likely to believe when making accusations of sexual harassment.
Right. Now, the important thing, I think, about this particular study, and this was just within the last couple of weeks, actually, it was in January of this year at the University of Washington. And I think it's important to understand that, this was not anything other than a reveal. This is the society that we live in. Right. This is America.
This is a Borat study. Right? How Borat does nothing more genius than just getting people to reveal their true selves. That's what this is about. It's a study that involved more than 4,000 participants revealing perceptions. And this is what they found. That women outside these socially determined norms, or non-prototypical women, are more likely perceived as not being harmed.
Right.
Again, that a-hole bronzer in chief, one of his 25 or so accusers. Yep. One of the more recent ones, just before he was sworn in, and his defense was, "Look at her. she's not my type. Why would I rape her?
Right. She's not attractive.
Or why would I assault her?
Right. And how many guys have used that? I think what's his name?
thing?
Brett Kavanaugh. I think, to some degree was also talking that bullshit.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember that brave woman's name. But yeah, she got that crap too.
Oh, Ford.
Right.
Yeah. Got a lot of that crap. And again, that's this again, I don't even know what the words are to describe how ridiculous that idea is, that you can only be sexually harassed if you're conventionally attractive, which also means you can only be sexually harassed if you're a biological female.
Right.
So you have to be attractive, biological female. Otherwise, there's no harassment, there's no harm.
Come on, dear. Really? He sexually harassed you?
And the implication in
That's
that
the
is,
implication.
well, the implication is also that, you know what? You're not terribly attractive. You should be grateful for the attention.
Oh, God.
I think that's kind of embedded underneath that bullshit as well.
Worse.
Yeah, it really is.
So let's end on a lighter note, shall we?
Yes, this is my favorite story in a very long time. But again, it's not really news. We've known this. And I think what this really shows is guys are guys. It really doesn't matter what species we're talking about.
Y chromosome.
Right? These male peacocks make fake sex noises to seem more attractive than they are. And obviously what they do is they are making these noises that are usually reserved only for sexual activity, right? Which, how is that any different than guys in the locker room bragging to each other about how much sex that they're having, how sexual they are, what studs they are?
Well, they're not screaming, making weird sex noises to the girls in the other locker room, like these peacocks are.
Okay, they're not screaming and making noises, they're using their words. Right?
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And using the poses. Again, peacock will strut out their feathers to make them look good. Guys will just pump up their chest and kind of give a little,
Yes.
they will, we even use that term, peacocking.
Yes, I love using that verb, peacocking, to describe men's behavior, especially in bars and clubs. Y'all remember back in the way before when we used to do that?
That's right, when we used to go out.
Hopefully we'll be doing that again soon.
So, I love this, and it's just another one of those things that no matter what species we're talking about, and again, especially for a lot of you millennials out there too, and those of you who do like to believe that gender is a completely arbitrarily, socially derived concept, kind of shows you that there is very much a biological component to it.
This is interesting. The researchers found that, of course, this is, like you said, it's an exuberant squeal or a hoot call. But according to this research, males will make this characteristic sex sound even when they've got nothing going on. But here's the thing. Faking claims of sexual prowess actually make the males seem sexier. Mm-hmm. These dishonest calls are surprisingly common, making up about a third of all hoot calls in the study populations. And females are more likely to visit males after they give a solo hoot. And confirm using playback experiment that even to a recording, females respond.
Mm-hmm. So we can say that all guys are the same and maybe female peacocks aren't that bright. And for our final piece, we like to end on what we call poetic justice. Mm-hmm. And in our poetic justice, we like to pay homage to those people out there who represent the height of sexual hypocrisy. And who do we have today? Today we are going to
We're back in Florida again.
We're back in Florida. It's a gravity thing. The shit flows downhill, right? Again, look at the shape of our state. It tells you a lot about what we do. But this was a gentleman in Orlando who was from Maine, right? And again, that is something I will say in our defense here. A lot of the ridiculousness and a lot of the problems that we have here in Florida is from people bringing it down with them. Okay, but we want to give a shout out to Mr. Seth Carey originally of Rumford, Maine, who was a former candidate for district attorney in, I think, 3 separate counties in Maine. Now, again, here's a guy who's putting himself out there as a defender of the people, right? The champion of the law. Last week, the Orlando police arrested Seth Carey, and they charged him with, and I love the name, just these charges, attempted gross sexual assault, attempted aggravated sex trafficking, and other charges. Right? Now, that's kind of my favorite part about that whole thing. What are those other charges?
Yeah.
If you've got gross sexual assault and attempted aggravated sex trafficking, what were those other charges?
Wow.
Right? And apparently, they couldn't even be named. Right? They were probably even too bad to even put
I'm
put in
assuming
here.
aggravated trafficking is like basically pimping someone out against their will.
Well, there's that, but again, aggravated legally, I believe, also means committed in the presence of other crimes. All right, so there was a whole slate of things. And apparently, this guy was under investigation for 3 years. Right? So this was not a secret. He was doing a lot of this stuff, and apparently people were knowing about it already. A judge previously suspended his license for sexual assault and witness tampering, as well as failing to comply with a previous interim order while he was still in Maine. Right? So it seems like he escaped down here, thinking he would, get out of the reach of Johnny Law. But 3 counties he was running in Maine as district attorney. What party do you think he's affiliated with? He ain't a Democrat. All right, these things really only happen in Republicans. So we find ourselves once again, right, tipping our hat and thumbing our nose at another Republican trying to get away with the same nonsense that they like to accuse other people of doing. So for aggravated, gross, attempted, and actual hypocrisy and stupidity, Mr. Seth Carey, now of Orlando, Florida, Correctional Institute, we give you our traditional salute as our poetic justice. And that'll do it for tonight's Sex in the News. We are the Siegel Brothers. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.